check, mic check. What's going on? How you guys doing tonight? What's going on? You don't know, my name is Andre Martineau.
DJ A Wonder.
Otherwise known as DJ A Wonder, be killing out there in the hallway. But I'm so glad you guys are here. It's my first time speaking in the Capitol, so make some noise for that. Shout out to Pastor Matt, I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get started. Y'all ready to get started? Alright, so go ahead and bow your heads and close your eyes and go ahead and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you for tonight, Lord. Just thank you for this opportunity to just share your message and your love with these kids. I just ask that your presence comes into this building tonight. I just feel this moment with you. And Father God, I just ask that this message just touches some hearts, brings some conviction, and changes some lives. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so back in the day, I used to be a basketball player. I mean a real player. I used to go in. I used to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Tournament time, my dad was the coach. We used to go in. But this is a serious situation. It's the end of the summer, it's the end of the league, double round elimination. All right, so this is our last game of the season. If we lose, we're out. So we had to go in all in. But something terrible happens. Something real bad happens. My father, who's the coach, he got ejected from the game. And we didn't know what to do. But we did have one thing. They had me. They had me. And see, I wasn't just a normal player. I was the coach's son. So I went home with that man. And everything that I did wrong in the game, he would tell me about. And everything that everyone else did wrong, he would tell me what they did wrong too. So it was at this moment that my dad said, Dre, you take the team. And so I had to do something that was past my capabilities. I had to be the player and the coach. And so I looked to my mama. She gave me that nod. She said, you get to it, baby. You get to it. And I said, you know, Mama, I got you. And I went in. I said, team, we need to do this for my dad. And the sad face he had as he walked out the gym, I said, we need to go in. And that's exactly what we did. But it wasn't that dramatic though. So, just to say something was really good about this game, I did go beyond. I'm just throwing stuff in the audience for no reason. I thought it was supposed to be magical, but it wasn't. It's not signed or anything, I'm sorry. I bought it at Walmart. But this game was really important for me because I had to do something that I had never done. I had to go beyond my capabilities. I had to go beyond who I was. I had to be a greater player. But not just that, I had to be a coach player. So on top of switching people out, on top of keeping track of fouls, I had to go beyond that. And that's what tonight's message is called. It's called Beyond. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. As soon as my thing turns on. Yeah, cool. And goes to the beginning. All right, so, I wanna start with a question like I always usually do in my messages. And the question is this: am I waiting on God, or is God waiting on me? And I want you just to hold on to that, to sit with it. Am I waiting on God, or is God waiting on me? And so I stayed in Psalms for this, and I love Psalms because it just gives so much depth into the pursuit of God. And the answer to that question I want to give you right now is both. Both. Am I waiting on God, or is God waiting on me? Yes, both. A and B, fill in both. And the reason for that is there's different seasons in our life where sometimes we have to wait on God, and sometimes we have to meet Him. So sometimes we wait, and sometimes He's waiting on us. And so I'm going to start with waiting on the Lord. And I have these two verses from Psalms. The first one's this, Psalms 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. And then I have this other verse, Psalms 37:34. Wait for the Lord and keep His way, and He will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off. And see, I want to focus on these two right here. The first thing is this. He says to wait on Him, to wait on the Lord. And our generation, that's you and me, we both, we have a very hard time waiting. We get restless. We can't wait on anything. A lot of our relationship with God is this. Text him, "Dear Jesus, listen up, homie. I got some requests. I need some money. I need to go to college. Hit me back, player." And for a lot of us, that's how we talk to God, if we talk to him at all. Wait. Not even 2 minutes have gone by. Come on, God, you ain't even answered brother's text message. And then that's how we actually act with him. We have no patience. We can't wait on God for anything. It's hard for us. But what I mean by waiting on God is we have faith in God. If you're here right now, you have faith. You believe in God. Can we all agree on that? If we're here right now, we believe, we have faith. But there's something we can do to go beyond just having faith. It's called trusting in God. See, there's two different ways you can look at it. See, faith is just believing, all right? I believe in God every day, all day. But sometimes we just have to trust in God. And trusting in God is this. To go beyond having faith, trusting God is putting your faith into action. It's not just saying, all right, I know God, God's going to do it, God's going to be great. But to sit out and walk out the house, walk into your life and believe God has got me. I know that God's going to answer whatever I need. I know he's going to provide what I need. See, I'm a father, and I have 2 kids, and I have a 3rd one on the way.
Woo! Yeah!
It's going to be great.
Ryan's a really good baby man.
And every day I have to trust that God will help me provide for them. I have to trust that God is going to give me what I need to take care of them. Is it a job? Is it keeping my car running? Whatever it is, there's going to be food on the table. I have to trust that he's going to provide those things. And the next thing is, I wanted to look at the 2nd verse, and he said this. I'm going to read it one more time. "Wait for the Lord and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off." And the part I want to look at that is, keep his way. I highlight this part. It's just a small part, but it means so much. See, a lot of times when we're waiting on God, we have to be still. We have to keep going, and sometimes it's hard. And that is the time that the enemy uses to just throw things out our way. Sometimes we're waiting on God to do something in our life, and he may throw a girl at us. He may throw a guy. He brings people into your life that may throw you off your path, that may hinder you from where you need to be going. He may throw things in your way, whether it's money or sin. Anything that he can throw at you, he will throw it at you, because it's hard for us to wait. But in that waiting, we have to keep his way. We have to hold on to his commandments. We have to be noble. We have to be righteous. We have to keep following God no matter what we're doing and wait on him to fulfill his plan in our lives. The second part of that, so the second season in our lives is when God's waiting on us. And I want to read these 2 scriptures from Psalms real quick. This is Psalm 63:1. "O God, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you in this parched and weary land. There is no water. I have seen you in your sanctuary and gazed upon the power and glory. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you." And the second verse is Psalms 14:2. "The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any who understood, dealt wisely, and sought after God, and inquiring for him, and requiring him of vital necessity." Now that last one I took from the Amplified version. I'll explain why that is. See, I loved reading Psalms because you can clearly see David's relationship with God. See, not only does David have a relationship with God, he yearns for God. He asks for him. He seeks him. He writes about him. He praises him. He calls his name. He asks for forgiveness for when he does wrong. He continues to go over and over and over seeking God. He doesn't just be content with just saying, "God, I know you're there. God, I know you're here, and I understand that." See, a lot of times as Christians, we just accept the surface layer of God, and we don't go beyond that. We don't go deeper into what God has for us. We don't go deeper into a relationship with God. We just sit there at the top layer. And there's so much more to God for us than just the top layer. But here in this verse, you just see David going after him, no matter what. I need God in my life. God, forgive me. God, just keep blessing me. And let me read this part. And so I look at it as this. It's almost like getting a party invite from God. See, God will hand you out the invitation and we can accept it. And a lot of us have accepted it. But it's like never going to the party. All your friends are going to be there. God has so much in store for us, and all we do is accept it, but we never go beyond getting anything else that God has for us. We just accept what he has at the first moment, and then we never go beyond that. And then the second verse is this. I love the whole verse, but past that part, it just gets to me. He says, of vital necessity. And that's why I like the Amplified version, because it gives you so much detail. See, he just asked him, I'm going to read it one more time. The Lord looked down from heaven and upon the children to men to see if there were any who understood, dealt wisely, and sought after God, inquiring for him, of him, and requiring him of vital necessity. Not just, did I go for the Lord? Do I need God? But a vital necessity. See, when my child comes into the world, he's going to need me. 24/7. I'm on baby duty. I have to change his diapers. I have to feed him. I have to clothe him. See, he can't do it for himself. And if the baby starts crying, I can't just look at him like, man up, kid, stop crying. Because what kind of father would I look like if that's how I talk to my baby child? Would be no point. So just like David said it, we need God to a vital necessity. He's a vital necessity to our lives. And if we don't go beyond just seeking after him, then we'll never really get all that God has for us. There's so much more that he has for us. And I thought I was going to get through this whole message without mentioning Pokemon, but I can't do it. How many here play Pokemon? How many got it? How many already threw a Pokemon up here this way because you saw Pikachu? Nobody? All right, good, because I love y'all like that. But the same way, let me go back a little bit. Me and my wife were sitting in the house the other day, and we were watching this video about New York City. Completely shut down the streets, completely shut down the park, because everybody was trying to catch some kind of Pokemon. I think it was Vaporeon. I don't even know. He doesn't even look good. And everybody's going after this guy. I mean, hundreds of people running. Oh my God, it's a Vaporeon! Some lady fell on her face. No one even cared. No one cared. They didn't even look at it. Look, I gotta catch this. I gotta do this. And in the same way that we go after Pokemon, we play this game, why can't we go after God the same way?
Dang.
Why can't we just run after God? We don't need a game to show us this. We can just do it. But instead, we're playing a game, and we go after things in a game that we can't even go after God for. And God's the reason we're here in the first place. That's our Father. That's our provider. We can't even go for him, but we can go after Pikachu. Just saying. As you're probably thinking, man, what's this guy's point? What's this dude talking about? Let me explain it to you. A lot of us in here, some of us are waiting for a calling. Some of us want to get into ministry. How many guys want to get into ministry? Full-time, part-time, sometimes, maybe once a weekend. See, a lot of us want to get into ministry, and they're like, man, dear Lord, make me a pastor. That's what I want to do. I want to be a pastor. And you pray this prayer, and then that's it. Nothing else. But what happens after that point? Do you go beyond that? A lot of us don't. A lot of us are saying, dear Lord, I want to be a pastor and preach the good word. Thank you, Jesus. And then the next day you're waiting for a call. Hey, we got a spot open for you at Victory Midtown. Ain't gonna happen. Not like that. Please believe, trust me, it's not gonna happen. See, the thing about it is, when we ask God for something, we need to go beyond just asking. See, if you want to be in full-time ministry, that's all well and good, and I'm proud of you guys for that. But what have you gone after that? Have you gone on a missions trip? Do you even serve here in the church on the weekends? Can you say that? I don't know. What do you do after praying for God for something? How far do you go after that and search for what you want? Do you think he's just going to meet you right there when you ask? Or is he going to just provide everything? Or are you going to go after it? Are you going to meet him where he meets you? The next thing is, let's go beyond our worldview. Let's go beyond popular talk, popular speech. And I'm going to say this, and I may offend some people, I may step on some toes, but just bear with me. Big brother Uncle Dre's doesn't mean to hurt your feelings. But I'm going to make some people uncomfortable in a minute. How many of you guys in here are sick and tired of the division in this nation? How many of you guys are tired of the racism, tired of the Facebook posts with everybody's opinion, Instagram posts? I know I am. I'm way tired of it. I see Andrea, she's tired of it too. But what are we doing beyond that? Do we just pray a simple prayer, dear Lord, bring a revival. Let's save all these crazy people. There's some heathens in this nation, we need them out. We don't pray that. And sometimes we do pray that, and that's it. Dear Lord, bring a revival. Because I can't stand this person on Facebook. They just post all kind of crazy mess. And that's it. We don't go beyond that. We don't go out anywhere and do anything else bigger than that. And then next thing you know, it's all Black lives matter. Or all blue lives matter. And then everybody comes in, all lives matter. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate y'all. But you know what? None of that matters. Because if Jesus didn't die on the cross for us, none of our lives would matter. And I'm going to just say that plain and simple. But you know what does matter? Changed lives matter. And I'm going to say that right now. Changed lives matter. You can quote me on that. Say, that man said it. Changed lives matter. Because there's going to come a time when you're going to stand before God, and he's going to say, I need an account for your life. What did you do on earth while you were there? And you're going to say, well, God, I supported the black people. All Black lives matter. Or, dear God, I supported my cops. They did the thing. Or, dear God, I just love everybody. All lives matter. And God's going to say, well, that's great. I'm glad you have posting capabilities. Or I'm glad you know how to share a comment. And that's great. But are you going to be able to say, no, God, I was down there fighting the battle for you. I was down there changing lives, turning hearts for you. I was doing your work down there, Father. Can we say that? And that's myself included. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm a Christian and I'm African American, but I'm not going to even claim being a Christian. That's just my middle name. No, seriously, this is my middle name. But I'm a Christ follower above being everything else.
Wow, that's good.
And so being a Christ follower, that means I have to go above and beyond just praying simple prayers. I need to be out there in the streets, and when I hear people talking, I need to start praying. When I hear people start fighting amongst themselves and people start getting their opinions out there, trying to make their opinions known when everything's just wrong. And if it's not about Jesus, it ain't about nothing. Dang. But if I'm not doing that, then I'm in the wrong. If I just sit back and be quiet and I don't say anything, then I can't even sit there and pray over something. Because what's the point of me praying if I don't put my prayers into action? If I don't help out that cause? And one of the last part is going beyond sickness and disease. And man, this really hits home for me right here. You see, for those of you who are sick right now, or fear being sick, or you have an illness, it's hard to deal with it. It's very hard to deal with it. This is that trusting God part. See, we can pray for healing, or we can trust God for healing. And we can believe in healing, or we can know that God is going to heal us. And you're probably like, man, what does this guy know about it? Just maybe about 10 years ago, I was the same kid laying in a hospital bed in ICU at Gwinnett Medical, getting blood pumped into my body because I lost so much. Right next to me was another man laying in the bed, and they took him off life support, and I had to watch him die. So me sitting there, I had to sit there and really think, man, is God going to get me out this room? Is God going to get me out this bed? I have tubes in my arm, they're taking blood every other 5 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, am I going to make it out? They said that when I got out that I'm probably going to need surgery. Other people who know people who have this disease, they're thinking, man, he might die, because other people have died from it. And every doctor that I've ever been to told me that I'm going to have to take medication for the rest of my life. Either it's this pill or this pill. But I trusted in God. My father prayed over me, my mother prayed over me, my family prayed over me. Pastor Johnson was at my house praying for me. And at that point I had to realize that there's something greater at work here. God is saying, I need you to trust me. Don't just believe in me, but I need you to trust me. I need you to tell these people that you're going to be fine. And so every doctor appointment, I have to tell these people, I'm not taking medication, because you don't know who my father is. I'm not taking medicine anymore. And to this day, I do not take medication. I do not go to the hospital. And I do not get sick. The only thing I take is a Centrum Men's Complete, because that's vital. Everybody take your vitamins. It's important. Not for vitamins. Not for vitamins. Except gummies, because I can't do gummies because I eat the whole thing. Somebody please stop me. This past weekend, man, my Caucasian mom, Jeannie Mayo, gave a great message. I love her so much. Literally, she is my Caucasian mom. Me and Matt are brothers from another mother, and that's my other mother. And Jeannie Mayo said this in her message. She said, "We are all free to choose to a point of choice, and then the choice controls the chooser." So good. I'm gonna read it one more time, probably 3 more times. We are all free up to a point of choice. Then the choice controls the chooser. And I just thought about this and I was like, man, so true. We're free, we can do anything that we want to do up to a point where we are forced to choose. And a lot of times we choose the wrong thing because we choose to be content with just the way things are. We don't want any more, any less. And that's worse than not choosing God at all. Because then you're just in that middle area and you don't know what else to do. But man, let me read this one more time. It's just so good. We are free up to a point of choice. Then the choice controls the chooser. What I want to get out of this, what I want to get out of this message is, I want us to be able to choose to go beyond where we're at. If it's a point where we're just waiting, I want us to go beyond just having faith in God and be able to just trust Him. If God's waiting on us, I want us to go beyond just accepting God, but go past that, go beyond. Seek God out, pursue God. Some of us are like, man, what does it even look like? My man Bryant always says it best. He gives this great analogy. He talks about the 10 and 10. Read the Bible for 10 minutes, pray for 10 minutes. But let's go beyond that. Because see, how many of you guys wear glasses in here? Where my glasses wears? Those are all the smart kids in the room. Love y'all.
Lies.
If you wear glasses, you've been to the doctor, they measure your eyesight in numbers, whatever it is. But if you have perfect vision, that means you see 20/20. That's more. My thing is, if you want to see God and see what He's doing, if you want to meet God, if you want to pursue Him, you want to find out how to trust Him, then maybe we should give Him more than just 10 and 10. Maybe we should give Him 20/20. Let's go beyond normal. How about some days we give Him 40/40? Maybe some days we just drop our phone off. That's me included. Just drop our phone, leave it there, leave the tablet, leave the Xbox, and just worship for a couple of minutes. Just sit in the room, play some worship music, and pray. It's summertime, we got nothing else better to do except catch Pokemon, right? And even the Pokemon will still be there later after prayer. But let's give God more. Let's go beyond where we've been. Let's trust Him when we pray. Let's pray, when we pray for stuff, let's put those prayers into action. Let's change hearts. Let's believe in God to do something in our own lives. Whether it's healing, whether it's your calling, your purpose, whether it's where to go to college. How about we ask God to be better people in general? Let's just ask God to do more. And so I'm about to close this thing on out, but I want to have the band come up for a couple minutes. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about a special young man that I know. It's my son, David. How many of you guys know David?
Yeah!
My man, David, a.k.a. Nugget. Yeah, picture, that's my dude right there. They call him Nugget because he's round, brown, and delicious. And don't tell him I said that, but that's what it is. And see, so not long ago, man, we went on this missions trip. Shout out to everybody who went to Nicaragua middle school trip.
Hey!
I love you, Timmy Diesel. But anyways, so we went on this missions trip, and I was a parent most of the trip. I was watching my son because his mother and his grandmother, they threatened my life if he didn't come back. So I had to make sure that he did come back. But man, David surprised me. He did so well on this trip, and I was worried for him. He went into this building, he cooked food, he cleaned dishes, he did PE, he was all over the place. He was in there. I was so proud of him. But it wasn't until probably about the last day that I was really, really proud of him. See, we went ziplining, and man, he was scared. Like, very scared. And I know this because he said, "Andre, I'm scared. I don't want to do it." And I said what any good father would do. I said to him, boy, I paid for this, so you're gonna go. And so he just looked at me like, oh man. Because someone had the bright idea of telling him it was on the side of a volcano, and he, well, thought it would erupt. Thanks, Bryant. And so we get up there, and I know he's flipping out, because he's just looking around like, no, I can't do this. He gets nervous, he starts tightening up. So we get up there all the way to the top. We walk up there and I just look at his face as the instructor's telling him what to do. And so people start going, we start zip lining, it's great. I'm going, monkey! There's a monkey in the tree, I saw it, it was awesome. And so I get all the way out and I'm ahead, and then I hear Bryant coming, just screaming. He's behind me, holding on for dear life. And all of a sudden I just hear, for a minute there, I didn't know if it was Sophia or David, because it just was a really loud scream, but sure enough, it was David. And he came off that thing, barely holding on, almost fell off, just like, I did it. I did it. It was awesome, it's amazing, let's keep going. I want to do this all day. I ain't got money for that, son. But let's keep going, let's keep going. And it was at that moment that I realized that David went beyond himself. See, a lot of times we're even afraid to go beyond ourselves. We just get held up in fear. We don't know what to do. But I looked at David, just, man, I'm gonna do this. And he went beyond himself. And it was a great metaphor for the whole week, as Pastor Bryant preached on David and Goliath. And I just hear this story going on and on in my head, watching him conquer his Goliath. And so I just want you guys to think about that right now. So we're going to do something a little different tonight. It's not so much an altar call, but it's a prayer call. So if I have some leaders in the building, I want you guys, as soon as I'm done praying, to line up in the back. The worship team is going to come and play. And I want you guys, you have two options. You can either go to the back and pray with the leader, or you can come up to the front and just have a conversation with God. But I want you guys to go beyond yourselves tonight. Ask God, where am I going? Reach out for God. Seek God in prayer. Because I tell you what, the worship team is amazing. They do an amazing job of ushering the presence of God in this building. And if the presence of God is in this building, then why not reach out for Him? Why not go beyond just busting out these doors ready to go home? And just stay with God for a couple of minutes. Why don't you stay here and wait with God for a couple of minutes? Why can't we go beyond ourselves? Go beyond just waiting. Go beyond just praying and really encounter God. So I'm going to go ahead and pray in a minute. And like I said, you know, you're welcome to go ahead and go. But is it going to hurt you to go beyond yourselves tonight and just say, Mom, I need 5 minutes to pray? She's not going to ground you for prayer. Trust me, I know. So just give God some time tonight. Go beyond yourselves tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pray. If I can have some leaders go ahead and get to the back. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, you can either go to a leader and have them pray over something, or you can come right up to the front and pray to God yourself. Have that conversation with Him. Go ahead and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for tonight. I just thank you for your words. And Father God, I just thank you for being patient with us. Because we are not perfect. We should try to be. Father God, I just ask that you just come into our hearts this morning or this afternoon, tonight. Father God, I just ask that you just help us go beyond where we've been. Let us not settle for everyday Christianity. Let us move beyond that. Let us be in search of you, be in pursuit of you. Father God, I just ask that you just lay away any traps that hinder us while we wait, that hinder us as we pursue you. And Father God, I just ask that you just meet us at a place that we may be able to see you and see what you do and the works that you do. Father God, we just thank you for all these things. In Jesus' name, amen.